Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. So normally it would be a Dye With Me Tuesday, so just want to throw it out there right up front that this week's Dye With Me is going to air Friday, and instead today we're going to be talking about some of my 2021 goals and just reflecting on that now that quarter one is done. So you guys still have the Dye With Me to look forward to. On Friday, we're doing something very different than what we've done before. I'm excited for you guys to see it, but it just wasn't quite ready yet, and instead of pushing things back a day or anything like that, I just decided to swap these out to kind of stick to my schedule. It's very ironic that it's happening this week of all weeks, and that we'll kind of talk about why more later in the vlog, but just kind of ironic and funny that it worked out this way. So I just wanted to do a quick run through of what we're going to be talking about today. So earlier in the year, or late last year, I don't remember exactly when I got to it, but I did a video all about my 2021 goals for the year, both crafting and business, and just kind of in general my goals for 2021. And so I figured it made sense to just kind of reflect on that now that we're kind of 3 months in, and like either change the goals for the rest of the year. Excuse me, get down. So I figured it made sense to just kind of reflect on them, change maybe some things moving forward for the year, and just talk about the things that I've gotten done so far this year. So first I'll start with kind of some of the crafty goals and knitting goals that I had for this year, which was none. I did not really want to set any goals for myself for this year with knitting. Kind of ending 2020 and coming into 2021, things were very busy for me with me and my hand-dyed yarn business, and so crafting really didn't necessarily need to have like a priority in 2021. That being said, I have been getting a lot more crafting done than I had been in a while. And so I figured I'd just like run through really quickly what I've been working on, what I got done, and then how I'm kind of changing some of my goals kind of going forward. The two things that I did kind of mention that needed to get done this year, or not really needed to get done, but that I wanted to be working through, was my 2020 Advent kit. So I offered up Advent kits in 2020, and I did one mystery mini kit and one that was just random minis, and then one gradient fade kit. And so I'm using the fade gradient kit to knit up the Adventuresome wrap, which is a pattern by Amba O'Brien. And just so that way this year I can kind of show people, like, here's an example of what I do for advent calendars, as like just an example and sample for the shop. But I obviously didn't get through it during Advent season, and then I thought I would do it, maybe it was in February I was going to do it every day. I still haven't touched it yet this year, so Advent season is not like coming around. It's not December yet, but this is in the summertime, and late spring, early summer is when a lot of people post them, and so I think that's around when I did as well last year, and so I definitely do want to get that done this spring, so that I have it as a sample for the summer, for when people would be purchasing the Advent kit. So that still hasn't happened, but it will. You'll see I've been working on some other things, and we'll see why in a second. And then the other thing that I wanted to pick back up on in 2021 was some charity knitting. So again, I haven't done any of that this year, but it is one of my April crafty goals to just kind of get reorganized with it and maybe plan ahead for it a little bit. So that should be coming soon, and I think in May I have scheduled a vlog all about it. Someone had mentioned that they wanted to hear more about it. I do have a video that I'll link to. It's called What I'm Doing with My Yarn Leftovers. That kind of talks about this grander project, but I'm going to kind of do an update to it and like talk more about the present in the May vlog about charity knitting. Okay, so otherwise it did kind of pick up with my knitting. So far this year I finished my Stephen West Slipstravaganza shawl, which I had been working on in late 2020 and just powered through it to get it done. It's a humongous project. And so I really just wanted to get it done, and now it is done. And honestly, it ended up being at perfect timing because I was able to photograph it in the snow, and it just made such a perfect background for such a vibrant and colorful pattern. And so that was a lot of knitting and a lot of work, and that got done. And then I also finished up the Tammy Gore mystery knit along. So both of those mystery knit alongs that I did last fall, that I finished way after they were mystery knit-alongs. I finished that one up as well, and I love that project. I love the yarn that I used for it, the colors, everything, the pattern itself. So I got both of those done early in the year, which was awesome. And so those were kind of two 2020 whips that kind of got off the needles. Leftover from 2020, I still have that adventuresome wrap, and then I have a pair of vanilla socks that I'm basically done with. I'm on the ribbing of sock 2, and I do them toe up, so the ribbing is the last thing to do. So I just have a few more rounds of that, and then those are the 2020 whips that would be done, or all of my remaining 2020 whips. I also started and finished a sweater for my niece that you guys have been hearing a lot about recently. I did gift it to her last week via mail and then video celebrations, and so I saw her open it and she loved it and didn't take it off, and even got a picture the next day of her still wearing it, hadn't taken it off. So she definitely loves it, and I'm very happy about that. So definitely a lot more knitting this year, so much so that I did kind of change how my goals are going to be going into quarter 2. I think that as kind of things warm up and everything, you know, the yarn business will continue to be slower, so I think I will have crafting time, and then when I'm heading kind of late summer into the fall season, I might change it back like for quarter 3 and quarter 4. But for now, we're gonna set some knitting goals for the rest of the year. And then also I have current whips. So current whips from 2021 would be, I started a modulancho. So my goal is to finish that in quarter 2. And then the Caledania shawl, which is the Amba O'Brien mystery knit along. That kicked off last week. So Clue 1 dropped last Friday, Thursday. It's like Friday for Amba, so it's Thursday for us here in the US. I think that's how it worked. I got an advance copy, so I've been staying ahead. I am on the last row of Clue 4, and there are 5 clues, and so I'm hoping to have that finished before the end of April, so that way I can show the finished project when the mystery part of the knit along wraps up. So moving along on that, that is what I pretty much have been working on. I work on it every day. Just trying to stay ahead on it. So that is why I haven't been doing the adventuresome wrap, because I want to get this mystery knit along done before the mystery knit along wraps up, unlike the 2 that I did last fall. But those are the current whips, hoping to kind of keep working on them. And then of course, like I said, get organized with some of the charity projects. I recently did, redid my craft room here, which meant going through everything, and there's some like yarn that I've had since like high school and just a long time that I'm just not going to ever use. So I have to decide if I want to, which I'll talk more about in that video, of using it for charity knits or just kind of donating it to charity that way. So we'll talk about it then, and yeah, so that's something that's going to be coming up soon into the summer, is to just kind of get rid of all that one way or another. And then for spinning, I haven't done any spinning yet this year. I haven't done any spinning since I finished the Niagara Falls braid that I did, basically my first official spin. But again, I do plan to pick that back up, and I'm actually hoping to, what did I say, work on it for spinning for a total of 30 minutes per week, which really isn't that much time. It's basically 1 or 2 sittings, which I think will be pretty manageable with the way things are right now, to like 2 times, you know, even if it's 15 minutes on Saturday and 15 minutes on Sunday, or 2 random work days. I think that that's manageable, and it's really fun and relaxing. And I've been really into audiobooks. I've been kind of powering through a lot of those, and that just works perfectly for spinning, because I can watch TV and knit, because I don't need to always look at my knitting, but I always need to look at my spinning. And so audiobooks are kind of perfect for that. I can't even really watch TV while spinning. So audiobooks are good for that. And I might as well kind of take advantage that I'm sitting and listening to them and just get some spinning done. So that's really the crafting for the year so far, and kind of moving forward again. I have like those specific project goals that I have. and spinning, kind of hoping to pick that back up, and doing the charity knitting. So those are kind of the really big things. But otherwise, just having fun with it, casting out what feels right and good in the moment, and working through things that way. So moving along to the business, this is where I set a lot of my goals. This is what's taking up a lot of my crafting time. The reason why I can't knit as much is because most of my hobby time has been dedicated to my business. And so I did kind of set a lot of goals for this year around that. And so I'm just going to kind of run through what the goals were and where we're kind of at with them. So the first goal was to, vend this year, and it's something that really was out of my control. I'm signed up technically to vend at 2 festivals this fall. One of them actually happened last year, but I opted not to participate. I didn't feel safe doing so. So for both of the festivals, I was able to kind of defer my application fee and hold my spot for 2021, which was really awesome. And so I am technically signed up for them this year. The one that happened last year, I've actually already confirmed that I'll be going this year. But honestly, unless I'm only gonna go if I'm vaccinated, I will not be vending at a festival if I'm personally not yet vaccinated. So even though I said yes, I'll be there, I'm very hopeful that I will be getting my vaccinations before September. Of course, that's still a TBD based on the world. That's kind of something out of my control. I've already put myself out there, signed up and everything. It's just a matter of it happening. And that one that is happening that I've kind of confirmed is the Adirondack Wool and Arts Festival. So if you are interested, it's up near Albany, New York in late September, I think the last weekend in September. So if you're wanting to go out to a festival, they did happen last year, and I'm very hopeful that I will be there, and I'm assuming that they're still happening. So yeah, hope to see you there in late September if you're in the area. So the second thing was to do more collaborations. Again, I've probably fallen short here quite a bit in Q1. This is something that's really hard for me as more of an introvert. It's hard to put yourself out there and everything like that. I have done things where I've sent prizes for giveaways and things like that. I've also talked to designers about setting up kits for their patterns, but I haven't done really true collaborations, which is fine. Those will come and go. And as long as I just keep putting myself out there in general, that's kind of the main goal. So we'll kind of keep working on that, kind of pushing myself to put myself out there more and see what kind of comes of it. I definitely have asked around. It's just nothing's really come to fruition yet. So we'll see as the year goes on. Definitely something I need to keep up with and telling myself to do. Okay, so the third goal was to kind of think about having sample knitters in the shop, and I think even the way I worded it was to just kind of think about how that would work and the process and all of that. And that kind of changed very rapidly. I very quickly got myself going on that. So not only did I research how I wanted to do it, but I also put out the call. I had tremendous response to that call, and I've actually already sent out and received back projects of samples. So if you didn't watch Friday's shop update, I showed various socks that I've gotten, and I have some larger projects that are on their way back to me or kind of will be back to me soon. So I will kind of keep doing that. And you are more than welcome to sign up to be a sample knitter. I will say there are more people than projects, and especially right now, I've put it on hold for the moment just because I'm trying to get back kind of these larger projects from the first round before I send out a ton more. So there are still projects going out, but unfortunately I can't give projects to anybody. But I also know people will kind of come and go and be busy and not busy, so having a larger pool will just make it easier in the long run. But I am grateful to everyone who's been sample knitting. Everyone's been so great. The fourth one was to do kind of the limited edition clubs every quarter. I knew I wasn't doing one for Q1 because I kind of relaunched all my yarn clubs in January, and that was more than enough. And so I had been talking about doing this rainbow club for a long time, and I did launch it, so you can sign up for the rainbow club. I will say if you check back on, I think last week's shop update, I kind of gave more of the details there. Actually might have even been what was it, like in a day in the life a couple of weeks ago. I'll kind of link to where I talk about the details down below, but kind of the overall thing is it's now live in the shop. You have through this Saturday to sign up for it. You pay for all 3 months up front, so it is a 3-month club, and every month you will receive a rainbow inspired club, and the 3 colors will form a fade. So they work great on their own, or they'll work great together, and as always you pick the base and the size skein. So I'll leave a link to the clubs. I'd love to have you join. I'm excited about this. Rainbow colorways are always so popular, and so I'm excited to have these for you. And I will say that the club is the only way that you can receive these skeins. They're never going to be in the shop. There's no like wait 3 months and then it'll be in the shop. It's going to just be through this club and then never again. So if you are inclined to get some rainbow skeins, even if you just want some minis, I encourage you to sign up for that. So another goal was to offer more pattern-based kits, which I had definitely been doing. So right now there's the Hackia hat, which I have right here actually. Coincidentally, this was not planned. I just realized I did have it there. So this is a hat made out of Aurora, which is the blue, and then Sunburst, which is this like golden yellow. And I have a pattern-based kit for that. So what it means is the amount of yarn that you receive, I think, is a 40-gram skein of Sunburst and a 25-gram skein of Aurora, and that's enough yarn based on the pattern, what the pattern calls for to make the hat. So you don't have to buy 2 100-gram skeins to basically use, you know, not even half of each of them, which is really fun. I also have kits set up for the Emmeline May shawl kit using rose tea and overnight oats. In my last shop update, I also expanded it to include Frostbite and Love Bite, which is a new combination I have available that I think would just like be so great in that pattern. So again, instead of buying 2 full skeins when you don't even use all of either one of them, you can kind of get these smaller skeins. It's more cost effective, but you're still getting beautiful hand-dyed yarn, and you don't have to worry about the leftovers or yarn chicken or anything like that. So definitely go check those out. More coming soon again. I'm waiting for some of these samples to come back from Sample Knitters, and then I'll have those kits up as well. So kind of the remaining business goals were really about kind of building efficiencies and routines and all that in my business. And so that's something that I've really been able to do. So one of the main goals was to get more ahead. And I've been doing that. So what I will be releasing in the May shop update are actually already dyed and prepped and everything. The April shop update were already done in February, and that has just been great because I've gotten Sample Knitters to knit up socks with the new colorways. And I'm also able to have these monthly updates with new colorways, and that has been really great as well. I've been able to re-dye some of my older colorways. It just has been working really well from like that monthly shop update point of view, as well as like my YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I've definitely been staying ahead. So another goal was just kind of continue this kind of day-to-day routine that I had started it late in 2020 that has been going really well. So the routine is, and if you watch one of my day in the life vlogs, I did like a day in the life of a work day. You kind of see how this works, but I dye for 2 hours in the morning before work, kind of work my work day, and then after work I prep yarn for the following day, which has been probably the key to all of this, is doing my yarn prep the night before, because that always takes way longer than I ever expected to, and that usually would cause me to like push my dye days back because I would be spending all of my dyeing time prepping the yarn first. So after the workday, I prep my yarn and then I package up any orders that kind of are ready to go, and continue that Monday through Friday. And then, so another kind of rule that I've instated in 2021 is to not dye on the weekends, and that has been really working. That has been working really great. So I get those 2 days off from dyeing. Dyeing takes up a whole chunk of hours, and so it would take up like my entire Saturday morning, which would be like 25% of the weekend. So now I have more time to do stuff around the house, chores, errands, family video calls, hanging out with my husband, just like all those things on a weekend that are just really great. So not dyeing on the weekends is good, and then it also pushes me to just like get through everything during the week. So that way I kind of go into the weekend fresh, and then the following week starting anew with not having like a lot of orders hanging over from the week before. So that's been really good. It's been keeping me to that Monday through Friday schedule by having that goal of not dyeing on the weekends, and I've really been sticking to it. And then another piece of it is just not dye, is to have a personal dye day. So one day a week, usually Wednesday or Thursday, I don't dye orders. I dye new colorways, I do my dye with me's, I dye up yarn that like sample knitters need to knit with, or I'm gonna be knitting with. Things like that all happen on that personal dye day, so one day a week. And it keeps, I don't necessarily fall behind in orders, but it does just keep like up with this whole staying ahead, because it's easy to get caught up in the orders and then just never get around to new colorways and things like that. So by kind of forcing it, it's just been working really well. And then even though I don't dye on the weekends, I do plenty of work. So I just do computer work, which is something I can kind of like bounce in and out of, so I can get some done before my husband wakes up, and then I can watch TV with him, or if he's gonna vacuum, then while he's vacuuming I can get some work done. It's just something I can kind of pop in and out by doing computer work. So that's any listings that I need to do, or editing vlogs, because I usually record my vlogs Sunday mornings. So if I need to edit those, anything that I need to plan ahead for, just all the organization computer work usually will happen then on the weekends, which again, that's just been going well as too. The irony in me kind of swapping the videos out this week, so doing the dye with me on Friday instead of today, it's ironic that it is this week, because up until this week I have been filming ahead. So dye with me's are getting filmed like weeks ahead of time, and I film on Sundays, and so that just means that then later in Sunday I can edit them, and then they're scheduled to go up. I get my social media posts up. This week there were just a few unfortunate events that led to me not getting the dye with me ready for today. I was a little under the weather, nothing serious. I think I just needed to catch up on sleep. So I didn't record anything on Sunday, and I also didn't dye like this morning, Monday morning. That's why I'm recording this now. So I'm all better, caught up on sleep. For this, I've been so far ahead of schedule on the vlogs, and it just happened. I had a bad week, and it happens. So all of these things have just been working out really well for me. The business itself has slowed down, so that obviously has allowed me to kind of establish these routines, but this kind of day-to-day and personal day and everything was working in January and February when the business was still very busy. One thing that happens is, because I'm not dyeing on the weekends, it means that like all the weekend orders are kind of piled up on Monday and Tuesday, and so that's kind of a downside, but it's all been working well. I'm happy to keep up with this. Again, things aren't as busy right now, so I don't even necessarily need to dye every day, which has just been good for getting ahead and staying ahead as well. So yeah, those are kind of where I am on the goals. Again, kind of moving forward, just trying to do more collaborations, more of these kits, and really trying to keep organized and keep growing. So I kind of talked about YouTube. So I had a goal of sticking to my 2 times per week. I've done that. I haven't missed one yet, but I also wanted to include live streams, and so we started that pretty quickly early on in the year. I think I've done them twice this year, so once in February and once in March. And we really just sit and talk. I talk about some of my whips, talk about crafty things that are going on, and you guys talk as well about what you're working on. And that works out really well. It's been fun. I do need to schedule one for this month. Again, I kind of had a, not even such a lousy week, but just like a bit of a week, and then got sick going into the weekend. So anyway, I do plan to schedule one for April, just not yet. But again, all of that's been working well. One thing is that I want to do moving forward into Q2 is that I even talked about how my charity knitting vlog is scheduled for May. So I was going through and just like planning out my vlogs for YouTube, because for a lot of them I do need to plan ahead of time, and so it's nice to kind of know what's coming, like day in the life videos. I need to pick a day to do it, and all that. And so I went through and like between shop update videos, yarn club, I always do a video on yarn club reveal, I do a day in the life every month, the dye with me's, all those. I think I had videos planned through like June, like some far out amount, and I was like, it doesn't really leave much room for like if I want to just randomly talk about something or something like that. And it kind of hit me that this channel became like a little bit routine with the videos that I do, which is what my goal was, right? I wanted to kind of make more routines and everything. But one thing that I had as a goal when I first set up this channel was to do it more vlog based. Like I didn't want to do too many videos like this of sitting in front of the camera and talking. And so what I've started doing the past few weeks is I'm vlogging more about my projects and things as I'm working on them, and then I'll probably compile them into a video, so you'll see like the Madulancho from start to finish in one vlog, but it's probably gonna go over a few months or however long it takes me to make it. Kind of the same thing with this Caledania shawl. I'm vlogging it along the way, I'm not airing it. But then once the project is done and revealed, then I'm gonna just air that whole vlog. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys think about that. Instead of kind of having my Sunday morning recording sessions, I'm trying to do having my camera out and about more. So we'll kind of see how that goes into Q2. And so as I release those videos, I'm very curious to hear what you guys like and want to see more of. I also picked up on my blog really quickly. My goal is to just do it 2 times per week, kind of in conjunction with these videos. So like today, at the same time this aired, a post published on my blog with all the same details. So for people who can't access YouTube or don't like watching videos, they can still get the same information on my blog. So really, to wrap this up, the 2 words for the year that I gave myself, the themes for the year, were growth and contentment. So a lot of my business goals were around just like continuing to grow, new projects, new collaborations, new products, and things like that. And I definitely have done that. I've worked really hard on kind of building in the efficiencies. I think my business has grown in the sense that like this craft room is set up and more functional for me. The dye studio is up and running, which is really great. And so when orders come in, they just are going out really quickly, and I've been getting a lot of feedback about how quickly orders have been going out. It is still a dye to order shop, so when you order the yarn, I prep the yarn, I dye the yarn, I package the yarn, I ship the yarn from start to finish. So again, kind of building in these efficiencies have been really great to help me kind of grow in that respect, as well as get these monthly updates with new products, new colors, and bringing back old colorways and all of that. And then the second word of the year was about staying content and not always just like being so far into like where I'm going, and kind of being thankful for where I'm at today. That has come into play a lot over the past few weeks because my business kind of very suddenly slowed down. It was very, very busy for normal business, and then just like nothing. So it's kind of expected for this point of the year as we kind of leave winter, but it just happened a little bit more rapidly than I thought it would. And so kind of just staying content with the year that I had for the previous 12 months, kind of where I'm at, knowing that a lot of like the fact that like I'm still busier than I was probably a year ago, but the fact that I feel less busy means that I have done all of these things to make the business better and more efficient. And so just kind of staying content with how far I've come, how much more knowledge I have as a dyer and business person. It's just been a good time to just reflect on all of that, because you can get really low when your business gets slower. Again, this is what brings me happiness and a lot of passion in my life, and so I can keep dyeing all of the yarn I want, but if I don't have the orders coming in, the business isn't really happening. So that being said, still growing, but still kind of trying to remain content with where I am today, which I am definitely being tested on and hoping that I am working through all right. So that is kind of it. Looking ahead to Q2, again, it's going to be warmer months. Things are going to be slower for the business. And so just kind of getting ahead for the fall, planning for those festivals, getting, I have never vended before, so I don't even have what I need for a booth. So just planning for all of that, kind of going into these warmer months, again, planning for advents in the fall, as well as I have my birthday month coming up in May, and I have events planned for that. So that will be a really fun kind of Q2 month to have, and I hope you guys join me for some of that. And just other things kind of along the way as well. So more to come from A Girl and Her Wool. And again, back to my knitting and spinning. So I'll be sharing more crafty content on my Instagram as well as here on my channel. So thank you guys so much for joining and listening today, and I will see you guys on Friday with that die with me again. It's very different than things we've done before. It's a little silly actually. So we'll see what you guys think of it, and yeah, go from there. And I did have to close the Die With Me clubs before the April 1st renewal because I had the same number of people signed up as I had skeins for, so I couldn't accept anyone else, but they are open back up. So if you want to join the Die With Me club, that's where you'll be able to receive one of the skeins I dye up this April. You will need to sign up through that Die With Me club. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon, and have a great week. Bye.